Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed and welcome back to another edition of all kinds of fun cards ideas. This one is all about love theme, and we're going to bring you a variety of different cards I get when I do my card swaps. If you would like some information about my card swaps, stay tuned to the end of the video while I give you all that information. This is a card I made while I was at Creativation 2018 with Jelly Bean Soup, and I thought I would throw it into the mix because it's so cute. So one of the qualifications for doing this particular card swap is your cards are A2 sized, and even though it's a little bit of a dimension with the shaker card part in the middle, it still fits in that card envelope, so that's pretty fun. All right, so this is how I did it. This is a base card. They already had pre-punched the hole for me, and what they basically did is they measured the size of how big this piece is right here, this little plastic piece, and then they punched a hole. So I was given the card base already. And then I was also given a whole bunch of blanks. I believe that they were from dies that they had. And they had a whole bunch of pattern papers that were already cut out. And all I had to do was stamp it. So I could pick whatever pattern paper, and I picked the red dots right here, and I stamped it. And as a heads up, the card base is it looks like it's a handmade type of paper because there's lots of little fibers that are inside of there. And it's not quite a white, it's not quite a cream. It's kind of an in-between color. It's really pretty. I love it because it's got a little bit of texture to it. Just take a look. It's hard for you, the camera's not picking up the little fibers that are in there, but it's really, really cool. So after stamping this piece right here, stuck it down, and then they said, go ahead and stamp down a sentiment. And since this was all about a washing machine, I thought, well, you know, sending loads of love is really cute. So that's what I stamped. They had like 4 or 5 different stamps for me to pick from. I then had a little bowl to pick from of what I wanted to do to embellish. And they didn't have anything on the outside, but I thought a couple of t-shirts and a little sock, and they already had them die cut, and they had them in a ton of colors. So I thought, you know what, I just want to keep them very simple in terms of Valentine's or love colors. So that's what the red, the pink, and the white came from. And then it was time to pick what was going to go in my little shaker piece. Now, this piece right here already had an adhesive on there. All I had to do was peel it off, and I put what was inside of there. And they had a ton of different things. Oh, I just realized there was a sock that made it in there. I only wanted bras. That's all I was going for. So I picked out all the colors of bras, but I realized a lone sock. So it's that mysterious sock that always seems to get away from you. Yeah, so there's its buddy in the front. Wrong color. But you were able to put in, they had a few other little fun things in there, but I just did some of the paper cutouts. They had candies, but I thought that was kind of strange to put a candy in there. I thought that would get kind of gross after a while. So unless you opened it up to eat it, but I didn't want to do that. I just stuck with the paper pieces. They didn't have any beads or anything. It was just some little heart candies. They weren't the conversation hearts. They were different. They almost looked like beads. They were glossy looking. And then they had a whole bunch of whatever die cuts that you wanted to throw in there. And then I lined it up. I actually put it in the center of the circle backwards, peeled off the tape, and then closed it this way to make sure it's sealed, so every time you opened and closed, it would fit perfectly. And that's how you made the card. It was super, super simple. It was also really simple because everything was pre-made out for me. But there you go. First card. All right, this next batch of cards is from Cindy Ferrand, and she made 20 cards total, but I'm only going to do 10 of them on this video. I'm going to do the other 10 on the next video. And these 10 are all what I would call similar but different. Similar because she used similar patterns of paper, she used similar colors and similar techniques in some ways, but every single card is unique. So let's do them one at a time. This is her, what I would call country chic line, because everything on these cards is this pastel pink. It's this muted gray, not gray, so it's more like a kind of a gold or a bronzy color. It's got a little shimmery shine, and it's on kind of a tan cardstock. So here we have a vertically opened card, and she has done those all on this brown cardstock, and then she's put Card Creations by Cindy on the back. She has then taken a piece of pattern paper that you can see. It's that glossy. It's really cool. It's really catching that light well. And it's got a little bit of a texture to it. She's used that same paper, so here it is again, on every single one of the cards in here. Some of the cards she just did a small little embellishment, but on this one she used it as the background, and she's embossed it. And she's embossed it with this beautiful, let me see if I can pick that up on the, there it is. It almost looks like a lattice work. And then she's got 2 die cut hearts out of another set of pattern papers that she's overlapped. One is in this white, and then she's taken the edge, not white, sorry, it's the pink paper, pattern pink paper. And along the edge, she has taken a dark color, and you can see that in a couple of them, and it's or like a pen or something, and it's in this beautiful, like a dark rose color. And she's outlined that heart right there. And then she added this other heart over top, but she punched out the center with a third heart. And therefore you can see this peachy color coming through, or this kind of light pink color coming through. Then on the lattice work, she started putting all these beautiful pearls on here, these adhesive pearls. And she started with the larger ones at the top, and she did 3 rows of larger ones, 3 rows of larger ones here. And then she's cascading, so as she gets closer to the center, to the hearts, she goes smaller and smaller and smaller. And that is so pretty. I love that. All right, next card we have so for this card, it was opened this direction, okay, so vertically. This is open horizontally, and you would figure that this would be a vertical, but she's again flipped the orientation of how you open the card, and it opens like this. So it doesn't matter how your card opens, and there's some other fun ones that she's done in here too, as long as it's an A2 size. That's all that matters. All right, at least for my card swap, that's how it works. So she's got the same card base, which is that tan card, so I'm not going to repeat that over and over. Now we've taken that pattern paper, this really pretty kind of light pink, it's a rustic, very distressed looking pattern paper as our background. And then she's taken this other tan paper that's got all these swirls and dots on it. She's punched a heart, and she's also used it for the background of this rectangle right here. She's taken that pretty glossy paper with all the lines. It reminds me of linen, like a glossy linen. I don't know why it reminds me of linen, but it does. Almost like it's a material you'd find on a tablecloth. That's what it reminds me of, or like a curtain, but it's paper. I mean, it is paper. It's really cool. I love it. All right, so she's then cut both of these and matted them with the rectangles, and then she's taken a whole bunch of twine and wrapped it around it a whole bunch of times, and then tied a bow and then stuck that down. For here, she's taken the 3 layers of hearts and all 3 of the pattern papers, the tan, the rose, and I'm going to call it the shiny linen, because for lack of a better word, and she's layered them on top, and then 2 little punched out hearts in that shiny linen paper up in the corner. So pretty. All right, so here's another card where we have a vertical open, same base color. We've taken that distressed tan colored paper as a base background. She's taken the shiny linen and done a strip of it, and then added a series of, it almost looks like, they're not quite brown, they're not quite bronze, there's something in the middle, and lined them all the way across the top. She's taken that shiny linen paper again, and she's cut it into a square, but then cut off the edges to make it look like it's a funny kind of octagon, which is really cool. And then she's punched out a heart out of the center. The heart's not laid on top. It's actually been punched out of here. And I think it's this heart right here. Oh, she did. So here it is. This is the die cut heart because it's punched out of that linen paper. So the heart that she punched out of the center here, she used over here, which is really smart. So then she's backed the back of the shiny linen with this distressed rose color paper, and you could see it's the exact same size. So she put one on top of the other, and then she put a small die cut heart here in the center. So I'm thinking what she has done is anywhere that she has punched out hearts out of different places, she's used them in various places. Like if she's punched it out of one spot, she's used it somewhere else. So if she die cut it out of here, right here, she probably used that heart somewhere else. So she's using all the pieces, like this heart, I think is this one right here, that kind of stuff. And there it is, so cute. I love this one. This card right here, again, same base, but this is what I call a traditional opening card. It's like what I would call the most standard kind of opening that you can get. So either you do it this way or this way, but again, any kind of opening you have is great. We have the tan distressed paper as the background. We have the rose distressed paper right here, and she's punched a heart out of here, and that heart, I believe, is the one that is on this card or this card. It's the same one. So again, using the pieces, you're not wasting the pieces, which is awesome. We have another die cut out of that shiny linen, and then placed in the middle, a couple little die cut hearts here in the corner, and I'm thinking these little hearts have all come from in here. So if you can see this little die cut piece right here, there's a whole bunch of little tiny hearts that have popped out of here, and she's used them in the card. So here's a couple there, and then here's a couple up here. So she's using, again, the pieces, which is so smart. So this is a great way of mass producing cards using the same papers and using little pieces that have popped out here and there. Genius. And then the last thing that she's done is she has wrapped the twine around here and tied a bow, and it's wrapped around behind the paper so that way it sticks really well. So smart. All right, this is another card. Again, we've changed the orientation. We're opening this way. I love that she's done something different for every card. It's not the same. Even the openings are different, which is so cool. Okay, so here we have the same base. We have the shiny linen as our background, and then we have the tan distressed over top. And she's taken that same pen color that she's used over and over, and it reminds me, it's like a bronze, but it's got a hint of a red in it. I'd love to know what it is. And if you can tell me what that pen is, that would rock. And she's outlined the edge of this paper with that. She has die cut out a heart, and that's why you see that shiny linen. It's actually been die cut out. So my guess is that this heart right here is this one right here, because it's been laid over top. I think that's been laid over top. No, that feels like it's been out in the middle. Oh, no, it was probably this one right here. I bet it's this heart right here because that matches perfectly. See, she's using her heart smartly. She's heart smart. There you go. That's the way to do it. All right. And then we have another die cut heart out of here, which she's probably die cut out of one of the centers over there. And then she's edged all of these in that same pen, and then added some more of the pearls and the gems. So again, you're seeing some of the repeated colors of the gems and the pearls on a lot of her cards, and just add a little bit of a flair. I love this concept here, this layered hearts. So smart. All right, let's go to the fancy die cuts. Traditionally open card like this, except going horizontally instead of vertically, or opening vertically, I should say, however you want to say it. Same base card. Here we have the Dusty Rose distressed paper in the background. Over top of that, we have the distressed tan swirl dot paper. It's kind of a dot and a swirl. And again, she's die cut out the heart out of the tan paper to reveal the paper underneath. And let's see, which one is that going to be? Now I'm hunting for where she's used these hearts. Here it is. So this is the heart that she die cut out of this paper. It's right here. She's getting really smart about that. And then over top of that, she has this beautiful die cut out of the linen, shiny linen paper, where all those little pieces have come from that she's scattered around on here. So that's really pretty. And this heart came from this paper because you can see it's got a little bit of a scalloped edge. So super smart. And then a couple of little pearls in the corners just to kind of offset. So pretty. All right, so now we have another fun opening. Still, again, A2 size card. And this is how she did that. So if you're thinking of a traditional card when you're cutting it, look at the size, right? So normally you would just fold it in half and be done. Well, from what she's done from here is she's folded it here, and then she's folded it here so it matches in the middle, but it's the same size of a card. Isn't that smart? So it's just changing where you're folding. That's it. And it just adds a completely different way of opening a card, which is so fun. It's just different is all it is. Okay, so in here, she's taken that linen paper that I was talking about, and she's wrapped it all the way around. Or no, she doesn't. She just added a layer on the inside of her card with the same base, just to kind of give you an interest. Probably also help define the lines of where her fold is going to be, which is really smart. Okay, same paper on the outside, that shiny linen paper, series of large pearls. My guess is she had a big giant sheet of pearls and she just used them up, which is fantastic. I love that. And I love the largeness on this one. That's so cool. We have a giant heart that has been die cut out. So the Dusty Rose has been actually cut out of and placed on top. So I don't see where that one came from. I don't think she saved those large pieces. That's just been die cut out. Same with this piece up here. And then on the inside, yeah, so she has again done the same thing. She has die cut out the smaller heart out of that one. This is what she did. She die cut out this heart right here out of the Dusty Rose. And then she placed inside of that the tan paper in the insert. So instead of layering it on top and creating layer upon layer upon layer, she pulled that heart out, which is probably the one that's over here, and she replaced it with the dusty color, or with the tan color. And then on top of that, this one has been layered on top, is a little heart that's been pulled out of this shiny linen paper. And so it's created a layer heart, and then she sliced it right down the middle. So that's your gatefold where you open it, which is really cool. I love that. Another fun opening of a card. So on this card, instead of doing a funny fold where it's both sides and you have two folds coming in, she has done the standard opening like you see on this card, where it's just been folded in the middle, right? Folded in the middle. She's done the exact same thing. She folded in the middle, but then she die cut out, or she hand cut, I'm not really sure, this section right here, so that when it closes a little bit short. So that way it lines up right in here. So half the card, or not quite half, I guess, a third of the card of the front page has been cut off, but part of it has remained because it's the shape of this heart right here. How she did that, I think she hand cut it. I think she glued down this tan dot rustic paper on top, and then very carefully probably opened it up so she wouldn't cut through this, and then took her straight edge knife or paper, her knife cutter, and cut all the way around it very, very carefully. That's a very smart way of doing that. On top of that, she has layered, nope, she's done the same thing. So she's die cut out the center of this heart, which is the tan distress color, and she put the dusty rose insert from there, because that piece probably came from like in here. And so she's just swapped them. Or she could have just swapped them from these cards, because this is the same heart as this. She die cut this out, and then she just flipped the inserts. And then again, another of the linen rose, or sorry, the shiny linen heart in the middle. She's then taken more of the shiny linen and done a banner here, and then a banner here, and then added some more of the pearls. So cool. I love all of the different elements that she's doing with this, but the same papers. Fantastic. Standard opening of a card, as I would call it. And here we have that dusty rose color on the background. She's inked it again, or I think it's a pen. Penned it again all the way around, that really dark, pretty, I still love to know what that color is. Anyway, giant die cut out of the shiny linen, and then a smaller die cut out that I bet she's used somewhere else on one of these cards. You'll find that matching heart. And then she's dotted up the tan distressed paper that's got the dots on it, and she's popped that up with the heart, and then added some more of the pearls on top right there. So cool. All right, we are in our last one. Okay, so we have a vertically open card upwards. Here we go. And we have the tan paper background right here. We have another one of the linen hearts that are shiny, and then she's die cut out the center, and she's just put a little bit of that dusty rose color in the back. So that heart is probably over here, and she's added a few more. So she's got some heart punches, or a whole bunch of heart dies, and she had a blast with them, which is so smart. And then to make sure that these guys pop, instead of putting them on the tan, she put them on a little bit of a banner of that dusty rose. And there it is, all of her amazing cards. Thank you so much. They're beautiful. All right, this next batch is from Lily Saab, and she has done very different techniques on all of these cards, which I think is so cool. Okay, so we're going to come back to these ones in a second. Let's go, not going to attack, we're going to talk about these cards. Now, at first glance, obviously they're all very, very similar, but there are some slight differences in each one. So for instance, the color of the hugs, the fact that she used a ribbon versus a printout, the number of little pieces and the order that she's placed them inside, the hearts inside the jar. That's kind of the differences. So even though you have the same exact technique, if you run out of paper, or you change up, or you want to change something up, go for it. Have fun with that. You know, adding some extra pieces that you may have, that maybe the only little piece that she had, and then she copied with the other ones. Even changing the orientation. So here they're all on a diagonal, but here we have it completely vertical. So let's go ahead and take just one, because they're all pretty close to being the same concept. And she did 5 of these. All right, so we have, and let me just double check that they're all opening the same way, because maybe she altered that too. All right, so they are all opening like this. Now, I did notice that she did have one card. Which one is it? Here we go. She did stamp Happy Valentine's Day on the inside because on the outside it says from my heart, and she wanted to make sure that it did have a Happy Valentine's Day. So all the other cards, it's written on the front, so she didn't put it on the inside. So that's just one little difference. Okay. She has taken a pattern paper. Well, first of all, she started with a white cardstock, and then she's taken this beautiful pattern paper on the background, and she has matted that on the top and not left any kind of a border. And every card, you know, what's at the top might be a little bit different because she just cut new sections of it. My guess is that either this came from a 6x6 pack or she had a couple of 12x12 she cut down. Not really sure, but same concept. It applies both ways. A2 size cards are perfect for your 6x6 paper packs because you can fit the 6x6 fitting any direction and it'll work. You don't have to worry about trying to orientate the paper. It'll work no matter what. All right, she has then taken a sheet of white cardstock and embossed it, dry embossed it, with a series of little heart embossing folder. So pretty. She has then taken another die cut or machine cut, not really sure, this word hugs. Most of them are in black, but she did have one that was in silver, this kind of silvery paper right here. It's like a silver cardstock. Then she has this really cute die cut. I'm trying to figure out how she did that thing on the top. So she's got this die cut piece that looks like a jar. And on the inside of the jar, the main body of the jar, it's a pattern paper with a whole bunch of gray hearts. So cute. The top lid of the jar is just in a gray cardstock, which looks like the lid. And then she's done this plastic film over top of that. And my guess is, because this has become, I don't know if it's supposed to be a shaker card. I think it's supposed to be used like a shaker card, but she's made it look like a jar. Is she's taken the plastic filming like from a fuse tool and she's fused it in place over top. But before she fused it, she stamped the word love inside of there, and then she glued in all these little hearts. So she's die cut a whole bunch of these fun little hearts right here, as you can see, on all the cards, and she glued them in place so it wouldn't be a shaker card and cover up the love, but she used the plastic to make it look like it is a jar, like a glass jar, which is so stinking smart. I love that. She is then stamped over top of the plasticky piece in red, and my guess is it's like a StazOn or a permanent ink so it won't smear because it's not smearing on me, 2 red hearts. So smart. And then we have the stamped Happy Valentine's Day that she's done on the diagonal. The exception of this one is actually done in a ribbon that she had that says from my heart. She had it, and she popped dotted that part up and then some little gems off the side. And one of them she did perfectly horizontal, and then we add a couple more of the little hearts that she's added in there, and they're not popped up. They just feel like they are because they're on that raised paper. So cute. I love those. The next set of cards, oh look, so here's the hugs coming back again. Again, very similar design. The one change is which hearts are in which place. That's it. So the pattern paper, she die cut a whole bunch of hearts out and she added the pattern paper. So some of the pattern paper, like the green, is in big and small, but look, they're a little bit different. So where she laid the hearts on the cards is a little bit different. And then sometimes she uses just gems, and then sometimes she uses gems that are like flower shapes or a flower with a gem on top. But the concept of how she did the card is the same. Okay, so we have a white cardstock base. Opens vertically. Oh, and she's got a little insert in here. So she's added an extra little sheet of paper on the inside that's a little bit smaller, and this feels like copy paper, really thin copy paper, and a couple little hearts. And I believe, yep, she's done that for all of them. So she used some of those spare hearts to create a fun little interest on the inside of her card, which is so smart. I love that. See? Then what she has done, and I believe this is a stamp. So see these lines up here and the lines down here and all the splatters everywhere? I believe because it's so consistent, I could be wrong, but I believe that is a stamp. And so she stamped it with the red all the way in the background. Then this piece right here is a die cut, this branch up here. And then she's taken this little chain thing, so it looks like pieces hanging from the branch, and that's what she's layered her hearts on to make it look like it's a garland going across. And then added, some hearts are popped up, some are flush. And then she's just added a die cut hugs on there. And the hugs is in the same kind of silver cardstock that you see, that's these dangle pieces. But the branch is separate than the dangle pieces. They're 2 different things. But super smart idea. I love that design. You could really use the same design for all kinds of stuff. You know, if you change out the hearts to something else, you could use clovers, you could use snowflakes, you know, change the colors of it, and it's really, really smart. Love that. All right, now we are completely switching gears and going to a completely different color style. Here we have, this is on a white cardstock base. She's done her insert on the inside again, and it says Valentine Wishes and a love. And the insert is now kind of on a little bit of a cream copy paper. It's very, very thin. Love that. And that way it doesn't add too much bulk to the card. You don't want to add a really thick paper inside of a thick paper. It gets too much. All right, so she's done so much to this. So my guess is that she's opened. Oh no, so she did this on another sheet of paper and then glued it down. That way her card wouldn't get muddied up. Super smart. Okay, so she's taken just another sheet of white cardstock paper, and then looks like she's misted it all in this kind of yellowy color, but there's also some tan in there. She's stamped it in red, and that's all the red stamping and like this red piece, this postage stamp right there. But then also came in and did the love. So it's the same love stamp that you see here. She's just repeated all over the place. She has then added a whole bunch of splatters of, and I could be wrong on the order of some of these, but it's the same concept. A bunch of splatters of brown mist over top. And then she's got these dots on here. And I don't know, the dots are too similar enough. My gut feeling is it's a stamp as well. So she stamped these dots all over the place as well in this dark brown color. And I think it's the same dark brown as... Maybe not. No, it's a little bit different. I thought it was the same as the mist, but it's not. And it's too precise. They're not bleeding through. So it's not like she took, it's an ink versus a mist that she used to do the dots. All right, so then we have this doily here that she has misted. It started out being white. You can see it's actually got 2 layers on it, which is smart to give it a little bit more stability. She's got 2 layers of this doily that she's misted in the brown and then stamped all over with the love. She's added 2 layers of lace going all the way across. One of them is in a traditional kind of a white lace, and then the other one's in a brown lace that matches really nicely with all the colors on here. And then she's tied a knot right here, and she's layered it back behind, as you can see, just there, because and then it's glued down, and then when she glued the whole front to the card, it stuck, which is smart. Then we have a series of hearts that she has. This one has been embossed. And I think it's the same embossing that is on this card, which is that heart embossing. And she's actually outlined this one heart with a pen and stamped love on it, and then inked over top of it so you can see that embossing over the white. On this one, she's taken probably an extra sheet of this paper, misted a little bit of, oh no, that's been inked. That's been inked in kind of like a tea color. And then stamped it with a whole bunch of hearts and then stamped the love on there. And then this one has been, again, inked over very delicately, like a blender tint, like a distressed ink, again in like a light brown color. And then it's got a script stamp, probably the same script stamp that you see around here in the red she used in the black here, and then die cut that out. So these all have been punched out in the same shape, except she's flipped the heart. So if you can see, it's a little bit asymmetrical heart. She's just flipped them around to give a different orientation. Gives a very beautiful distressed Valentine's Day card in non-traditional colors, which is kind of cool. I love that. All right, moving on to her last card. So this is one that she actually sent to me personally, which I think is so sweet. Thank you. She didn't write anything on the inside, but she did write on the envelope. And it said, you know, from Lily Saab, and it was just thank you. So she sent me a personal card, which I think is so fun. We have a white cardstock base. Again, she's done her little insert, which I think is so smart. And it just gives a layer. So that way, if you puncture through like here, it just gives a clean front on the inside. So she has then taken another sheet of cardstock, and this is this hearts on vines, very rustic-y feeling. I'm not sure what pattern paper, but it reminds me of like a graphic 45 kind of a paper. And she's used it as a background. And this part right here, how it changes into the flowers, into this darker brown with this all the vine stuff, this is all from the same cardstock. So she's just made sure that this is a banner at the bottom. Use that as kind of like her base to what to anchor this image, and it's black cardstock, and then she's got the My Heart with the girl. She's layered that on top and matted on top. She's taken another doily, but it looks like she's stamped over top of it to give it that look of brown on the outside, and then also inked a little bit in a light brown color, which is really cute. And then we have 3 brads kind of help holding it down, and you can see they're actual real brads because they've come through. I love people using brads. It's one of those lost things in crafting that people were doing for ages and then they just don't do them anymore. I don't either. I need to start doing them more. We have a beautiful heart and there's a little gem, not like a pearl attached to the side. And then we have a ribbon that's been tied and it's really pretty, kind of a burgundy, gauzy ribbon, so pretty. And then we have Sweetie Pie, Sugar, Love, and then she's matted that in black and then just kind of anchored it at the bottom. So, and offset everything to make it look really pretty. I love it. You know what? I think that little pearl was supposed to be in the center and it rolled off. I bet that's what happened. I'm going to fix that because I like it better in the center versus off to the corner. Here. All right, that looks a whole lot better now. I wasn't sure why the pearl was over there. Makes more sense. It probably rolled in the shipping. Sometimes when you ship cards that have elements that are raised, they can move around on you. But it is all fixed and it is ready to go now. Thank you so much for my lovely card. I love it. All right, our last two cards are from Jan Armstrong, and she's done something super cute with these. I love these. All right, she did 20 cards, and she did 10 of these and 10 of these. So let's start with this card. Again, A2 size cards on a white base cardstock here. She wrote her name on the back. And she has added a red base, so she's matted it with a red cardstock, and then we added another white cardstock right here. And then she's got a series of strips. Now, at the bottom of the strip, she has hand cut. This is what took. She hand cut every single one of these little hearts. So she hand cut that out right there, and she's off-centered them, so that way it looks like they're kind of hanging down. And she did them in purple, a teal, and a hot pink, which is so cute. And then she's matched it with a, this is like a faceted gem in the corner of all of them and stamped love. So cute. I love that. Here again, we have another white cardstock base. Oh, she added a little pop of a red heart on the inside. Here she has done a pink cardstock, a light pink, and then a dark pink over top of that. And then we have a series of 4 hearts. We have a teal, we have a navy, we have kind of a goldy bronze, and then the light pink, a little bit different light pink than what's up there. She added a couple of gems in the corners, and all the cards are exactly this combination of 4 colors in this orientation. She has then done a rectangle here of light pink, and over top of that she's stamped with the little hearts, love you just the way you are, and then a little gem in the corner, and she's pop dotted that up. You can see that she's popped that up. So cute. I love that. So thanks so much for joining my latest video on an amazing card swap, which I host. I host a series of card swaps throughout the year. This one happens to be a love theme. If you were interested in joining in any of my card swaps, please leave a comment below and I will leave a link for you to join my Facebook group where we announce the next card swaps that are going to be coming up. There's always one kind of going into the works, and you've got plenty of time, and the only requirements are that you hand make the card, you're okay with me putting them up on video, and that they are an A2 size. That's it. It's pretty simple. And that you also pay for shipping to ship it to me. I swap all the cards around. If you send me 10 cards, you get 10 different cards back from other people. And you get to see all the amazing creations that you have sent in on my videos, and also what everybody else has sent in for the videos from these fun card swaps. So thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys again later. Bye-bye.